Good evening, I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Welcome to NewsX's special exit poll coverage. Remember, the actual results will only be known on the 11th of this month, but we have, through our agency, MRC, got some extensive numbers for you. I have them in my hand, but I'm not allowed to broadcast them just yet. In half an hour, that's at 5:30, we'll be putting out those figures for you. We have a very special panel also joining us. But first, for the methodology and some other crucial details, I want to go straight across to Executive Editor Rishabh Gulati.
It's mouth-watering, isn't it? We have the numbers, we can't put them out because for the couple of constituencies that still went for after polling, they've just finished, and 5:30 is what the Election Commission tells us is the stratified time. Now let me tell you what's been happening and what's going to happen over the course of events after 5:30. You see at the bottom of your screens all the principal four states we are covering. In our NewsX MRC Exit Poll, you see the figures, the simple, straightforward seat figures at the bottom of your screen and at the top of your screen right there. We will take you through the figures as soon as we can at 5:30 on the dot. Meanwhile, let us tell you what the methodology about this sample survey was entirely. A total sample size has been taken of 18,800 respondents. So that was the sample size of people who were asked who they were voting for. This covers a total poll booth area of more than 3,054 poll booth areas. A total representative population, voting population size would be more than 2.3 crores. And of course, the total voter representation across the states is more than 10 crores voters. Of course, the period of the poll was from the 4th of February to March the 8th, when polling has ended. Now, fundamentally, there are a few areas of the methodology which you need to know. The algorithm works on a weighted sample. It qualifies rural, urban, income groups, regions, caste groups, and swing seats, and weights the sample of 18,800 right across the states and seats to get you as accurate a representation, plus minus. The general error margin is plus minus 5%, 3 to 5% is general error margin. Keep in mind on that. And of course, the methodology has been poll booth sampling, which means somebody standing outside the poll booth and asking people who they voted for, getting the information from them, recording them, and putting this entire thing together. This is the methodology. Now, here's the sample of what's going to happen when I come back at 5:30. First, we will be giving you the seat numbers, who's getting what in the principal states, beginning with UP, Punjab, Goa, Uttarakhand. Then, of course, we talk about vote share. Vote share is very crucial. A few percentage points here and there can translate very dramatically into what happens. So a seat share, a seat comparison, not only with 2012, but I'll come back later to tell you what happened in 2014 if you juxtapose it into an assembly constituency and how that compares with what's happening in these exit poll projections also. Then, of course, like I said, seat share, vote share is going to be very important in percentage terms. These are all percentage terms. We'll be coming back a bit later to discuss the vote share also. This is UP. Then we go into the little bit of the fun we have with psephology to give you some talking points, and this is something that a lot of people, depending on which side they feel this is going to head 2 days later, are going to divide it up. This rather slow zooming in map of India is where India stood in 2016. These are the 5 states that have gone to elections. They will either go one way, blue or saffron, or they'll go a different way. This is the situation right now. Now, a few of the psephology questions I pointed out earlier. Here is what we're going to be looking at. Starting first with something that we call the clout index, which is going to be important. Clout index is basically a ratio, which I'll come and explain later what that means, of who has how much clout right now, the BJP, Congress, Samajwadi Party, BSP, and how much that has changed after these elections have taken place. Then we're also going to be tracking the Modi wave gauge. Now, again, the computation of this I'll come back and explain later, but fundamentally it's going to track how many seats the BJP has been contesting versus their strike rate, how many they end up winning. And of course the benchmark was set at 58% in 2014. That's been falling since, but of course there's not been national polls, and all of this in sum total will become the psephological part of what we examine. Finally, and this is something interesting, in UP and other states we'll also be looking at the region-wise data. Which region has voted for which party principally, because those bastions, those strongholds will matter in times to come, if indeed there are hung houses or not. I've got the figures here. Uday, We've got about 20 minutes out to go.
Well, absolutely. 20 to 25 minutes before we put out those figures. So, viewers, please wait with bated breath. Our panelists are too, and of course, our special guests are too. I want to open it up now. Rishabh, just stay with us, because Professor Madhav Nalapat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, joins us. Welcome, Professor, on the broadcast. Also with us is Barkha Dutt, senior journalist. Good to have you back on television. I'm sure a lot of our viewers are happy to see you back. We also have Virendra Kapoor, senior journalist, joining us on the panel. Welcome, sir. Also, Radhika Ramaseshan, political editor of the Business Standard, someone who understands Uttar Pradesh very well and some parties there. Good to have you on the panel, Radhika. We also have our special panel, a political panel joining us. Jaiveer Shergill, spokesperson of the Congress Party, is live with us. Tariq Siddiqui, spokesperson of the SP, also live with us from Lucknow. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, also joining us on the broadcast. And we'll hope to be joined very shortly by Hartosh Singh Bal, senior journalist, and also Priya Sehgal, senior executive editor for NewsX. So first to you, Professor Nalapat. The numbers, of course, will only come in the next 20 minutes or so. But any predictions from you? Who do you feel has the edge in the states? Do you want to stick your neck out?
Well, I am going to make 2 or 3 predictions which could be proved wrong on the 11th. And one is that I believe Mayawati will do a lot better than anyone expects her to do.
Okay.
And secondly, that the impact of demonetization is going to be significant on the prospects of the BJP in this election.
Okay. Barkha, do you want to stick your neck out?
Well, I don't have Professor Nalapat's confidence. I would not make a forecast. But I can share with you that bureaucrats, which are always considered a very good barometer of what's coming, every bureaucrat I've spoken to in Uttar Pradesh is talking about how the media has underestimated Mayawati and the Bahujan Samaj Party. But I would disagree humbly with Professor Nalapat on the demonetization question, because in all my travels across Uttar Pradesh, I found that largely there was no political cost to Narendra Modi for demonetization. Okay. It's unclear whether there's any political advantage. I would go so far as to say it might well have been a non-issue in this election. Okay. Some people who did talk about the difficulty of demonetization did seem to accept the BJP narrative ki kathinai hai, lekin amir aadmiyon ko to bhi hai. So I think Prime Minister Modi has added one more element to Indian politics, and that is a class factor. In a state where caste was always the factor, you are now seeing demonetization, if playing out at all, as a class narrative.
Right. That's quite interesting. He's changed the narrative. I'm sure the opposition would want to, insist that demonetization is an issue. I'm sure. But the numbers, of course, remember, are coming in 20 minutes. Is it an issue? Has it been advantage BJP? You'll only know in 20 minutes. But Radhika.
It's interesting, since I covered most of the phases. In phase 2, that's Bijnor, Saharanpur, Rohilkhand, there was a lot of fury against demonetization among the small traders and the farmers. So I expect that the BJP...
Specific? That has been an issue?
That's where I saw people speaking out loud and angry, furious against this demonetization. And as I went along, in the later phases, the effect of demonetization seemed to peter out. And again, as Barkha said, the class factor kicked in. The poor people said that very good, good thing that, the rich were made to stand and sweat it out for hours.
So that's, of course, that's on the issue of demonetization, but any party that you feel has the advantage?
Okay, that's a bit, I still think the BJP has an edge over the other parties for various reasons, which I suppose we will be allowed to elaborate later.
Well, Virendra Kapoor.
I think on demonetization, what you can say is, I agree with Barkha. At least it didn't harm BJP at all. And if it was going to harm BJP, you could have seen those who went around, crying from the housetops against demonetization. Manmohan Singh said loot and plunder. They were silent on this. It was a non-issue even for the opposition. So the mere fact that the opposition didn't make demonetization issue was they realized the poor people have bought into this narrative that this is anti-rich. The roadside trader who probably is the village moneylender, he's hurt more, never mind, my hardship.
Okay.
So to that extent, Modi gets away with demonetization, although however badly implemented.
Yeah.
And the broader point is this election will establish or has already established, whether Akhilesh loses or wins, that the second generation of Samajwadi Party, Mulayam Singh Yadav, is intact. This is the biggest game.
Right. And as far as which party is ahead?
And I like to believe, because this morning reading Bhalla, Sujit Bhalla also, I like to believe BJP is doing pretty well and I agree with Professor Nalapat that Mayawati was an underdog. The media also gave her a very
But the
rough
voters
time.
are also very silent. It's a very difficult
Yeah,
party
but
for
they
the
are,
media to
but the
cover.
media, initially when the poll started, initially, because the hangover of this so-called fight within the Yadav Parivar, so he ended up cornering much of the publicity. That made Akhilesh a front runner.
Right.
As the polls advanced, he
In fact,
petered out.
that's why
Just a
probably-
small point, and I wonder if the panel can also speak to this. I think it depends on whether you measure this against 2014, where the BJP picks up 70 plus seats and it's a complete sweep, or you measure this against 2012. If you measure it against 2012, then the conventional opinion is that the BJP, yes, is going to go up, but
Definitely,
from 47 seats, can it go up to 200? If you measure it against 2014, then the BJP has to drop 10%. 10% from 2014. 10% of its voters have to...
50% actually.
Okay, almost 15% have to move away for the BJP to actually
But
lose.
that's been very unreasonable to expect that the barometer should be the Lok Sabha election.
No,
I am saying it should be the assembly. But
It should
lots
be
of
the
people are
assembly.
using
Yes.
the Lok Sabha as the benchmark.
No, but
That'll
you
be in
know,
the graphics as
I
well,
mean,
that we
without
put up,
me or
I'm asking a
unwittingly,
question. Kya hona chahiye?
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has converted a state election into a referendum on his government. Because if you see, he tried to sort of, front piece himself as the protagonist of this whole
So do we
narrative.
have it in case they do pretty badly in UP? You expect Narendra Modi to resign?
No, not at all.
I
I'm
doubt
not
that
suggesting
happens.
anything
Sambit
of that
Patra is smiling at that
sort.
point
I'm
as well.
saying that
I
the
want to quickly
narrative,
join.
talking about the
Okay, we've
narrative.
got our opening thoughts from our expert panelists, of course. I want to quickly join the political panel. Interestingly, the BSP also feels that the media, doesn't favor them too much, is always silent on them. That's why they're not on the panel, interestingly, as well. But Sambit Patra, do you feel this is a referendum on the Prime Minister? We'll have the numbers in just 10 to 12 minutes. Of course, the Congress and other parties would feel it is. But do you feel that's going to be the biggest issue as far as Uttar Pradesh goes?
Uday, first, a very happy day to all of you, a good evening to all of you. And since the elections are already over and we are all waiting for 11th, I would say desperately waiting for the 11th morning, I believe let's have a debate in which we do not have any kind of fight today, only academic debates. The first question, whether this is a referendum on...
All right, we seem to have unfortunately lost Sambit Patra there. We'll just try and re-establish that connection. But Jaiveer Shergill, come in here. Jaiveer Shergill, you were of course hearing the opening thoughts of our panelists. Do you believe, whatever be the result, whatever be our opinion poll prediction as well, our exit poll prediction as well, it's a referendum on the Prime Minister? Do you feel demonetization has been a big issue? You have been bringing it up in rallies at almost every district you've gone to, but do you feel the election has been fought on that issue, or do you feel it's been localized? Jaiveer.
Without going into the specific numbers, one thing I know for sure, that it is going to be a very happy and a colorful Holi for the Congress party, and we're going to have a very, very glorious summer. As far as the elections are concerned, of course, it is a trial by fire by the Prime Minister. A PM, we saw a PM who was working overtime to defeat a Chief Minister of State. So competition between a PM to dislodge a CM is the first time. The nervousness of the BJP camp was evident when a PM has to do a road show for a Vidhan Sabha election, and we saw the murmurs of that nervousness in the road show. On a very generic level, on what basis are they expecting people to vote for BJP is the moot question. They have pushed Punjab into darkness. They have hurt the farmers and the traders of Uttar Pradesh. They try to use the muscle and money power to dislodge the people's power in Uttarakhand. And we saw how they have played around the accord in Manipur. And Goa, they had their own, going back on the promises of illegal mining and the airport issue and the banning of casinos. So I think the euphoria around PM speeches has faded away. The Prime Minister will soon realize.
Fair enough. Tariq Siddiqui of the SP, come in there. Do you feel it has been a PM versus CM battle? That's what Jaiveer feels, your ally. It's been a PM versus CM battle. But the PM was never a CM candidate in the first place. So do you feel it's been a PM versus CM battle in that sense?
Yes, if you see, he was absolutely right in saying that. Probably it would happen in our country only, where a PM is chasing to Chief Minister to defeat. As far as we are concerned, the Gadbandhan, I can see the clear-cut majority. We are comfortably going to form the government because they were comparing 2000. If you see 2012 election, it's absolutely clear that we were at 42% vote, and we are going to repeat almost that 42%, which means we'll have a clear-cut majority. If you are comparing with 2014, there was a competition between Dr. Manmohan Singh and Mr. Modi.
Okay.
Mr. Modi has shown a lot of promises, and floating vote has converted towards Modi, and which was from, see, in Uttar Pradesh, BJP is anything between 15 to 18% in various elections. It is only in 2014 where you have moved from 18% to 42%. And these were simply floating votes. They had a lot of hopes. They themselves have converted all their promises as Jumla. And that is very evident.
Interesting.
So
the
I
SP
think
is insisting that 2014 vote, which went to the BJP, is just a floating vote. It will come back to them in 2017. Fair enough. Tariq, stay with us. We are also, of course, being joined on the panel now by Hartosh Singh Bal, senior journalist. Before I draw you in, I'm also being told Ashok Tandon, another senior journalist, is joining us very shortly as well. But Sambit, sorry, yeah, we had lost the connection with you. I know you want to come back.
Yes, in fact, I've been patiently hearing everyone out, and let me tell you the question that is it a referendum on Mr. Narendra Modi, is it a referendum on the central government? What I was trying to say is, look, it has been in the past that only one student is appearing in the examination, and it is a referendum on only one student. One student is appearing on examination after examinations since 2012. We had 2014 elections on him, we had state elections. But where are the other students? They are not even appearing in the examination. So already he has passed the examination with distinctive colors. Secondly, whether the PM is working overtime to defeat a CM, absolutely no. The catchword over here is we have a PM, we have a leader who is working overtime versus leaders who are not working. In fact, I would say that because of the hard work of the Prime Minister, other leaders have been forced to hit the ground. And the problem with us is, since last 10 years, we are compared to a former Prime Minister, respect Manmohan Singh ji, who did not have a constituency of his own. His own constituency was 10 Janpad. Constituency to visit to. That's the reason as to why he held no rallies. And today we have a Prime Minister who has a constituency, who works overtime. And I believe that is the reason as to why the opposing parties are so nervous. As far as this word nervousness is concerned, we have an alliance of nervousness of Samajwadi Party and Congress. Going by what the Samajwadi Party had been saying right from the very beginning, that they have development as their main agenda, they have worked really hard in Uttar Pradesh. So such was the scenario. Why did they need the crutches of the Congress Party? That Mr. Rahul Gandhi had to be a backride in the cycle of Mr. Akhilesh Yadav only points to the fact that both Akhilesh and Mr. Rahul Gandhi were nervous about their own performances.
So has it been a doomed alliance? Was the alliance a good idea or a bad idea? We'll of course only know on the 11th of this month, but we'll have an indication of that in just about 10 minutes from now, when those numbers, I reiterate, will be allowed to put out the numbers only in 10 minutes. As I'm saying, I have it in my hand. I really want to put it out for our viewers. But of course, as per Election Commission mandate, we're not allowed to do so. Hartosh Singh Bal, come in here. So before we open it up, we just wanted to get your sense of who you feel is ahead. Do you want to stick your neck out of who you feel is ahead? We spoke about UP. We'll just speak about Punjab and the other states in just a bit as well. But who do you feel, sir, is ahead in the state, if you want to give your own opinion?
Look, I have been around UP. Two regions, Western UP is part of East UP. Beats the hell out of me who's ahead. Actually, I really have no idea. I can't tell you. It's a close race.
Does that mean it's a hung house?
I am not sticking my neck out because I don't have any reason to stick my neck out. I really do not know what the results in UP are going to be. And that's an honest admission.
Right.
I don't know whether the BJP is ahead, the alliance is ahead, what the impact of the BSP will be. That's my honest assessment. It's close. It's a three-horse race in many constituencies. There will be close results. What the outcome is, I cannot say.
Fair enough. Well, speaking about Punjab now. Now, Punjab has also been another neck-to-neck state. Professor Nalapat, who do you feel has the advantage in Punjab?
You know, I just want to say that there's one dynamic in this election is very, very interesting. Normally, traditionally, if you have you have the BJP, of course, since the emergence of Narendra Modi in about 2012, after the Gujarat election, he's clearly become the main focus of politics. Now, after that, a fractured opposition has always been beneficial to the BJP. Now here you have in Punjab a situation where you do have a fractured opposition. You've got the Congress.
Yeah.
You've got the Aam Aadmi Party. You have a very fractured opposition in UP, where you've got two very strong regional parties, and yet, quite frankly, not too many of us are saying the BJP is going to get a majority. So from that point of view, I think there's been a change in the dynamic, that even with a fractured opposition, it's becoming hard to say the BJP is going to get a majority.
A lot of people said that happened last time in Punjab, you know, with the PPP and the Congress cutting to each other's votes. Yeah. Punjab.
Punjab, of course, whether or not Modi went, it didn't make any difference. In any case, also in the Lok Sabha election, if you know, Punjab was a standout state in the sense that BJP wave somehow stopped in Punjab. And they're bound to lose. In any case, one prediction where
but who do you feel
with your eyes blind and mind closed, you can say Akalis and BJP are going to lose.
Are not coming back, exactly. But who is then? Because it's been really close, and I know some people have stuck their neck out and said it's advantage up, but you know, you can't call it because it's been really neck to neck.
I mean, I think forecasting is sort of not our job, right? Our job is to report the story and give the impressions that we gather. But I did want to speak to the macro sort of narrative. I mean, we're breaking it down state by state, but you know, Sambit Patra just spoke about there isn't just one student in this exam, and that's really a fair point. I can tell you from Uttar Pradesh, at least, whether the BJP wins or not, Prime Minister Modi's personal popularity is undiminished. But as was just mentioned, that Modi factor doesn't translate then into a state like Punjab. So what does that then leave us with in terms of a set of questions? Does it mean where there's a third alternative available, where there are non-establishment parties available, for example, Arvind Kejriwal, where the voter has a new choice? Does the voter then respond differently, and does the Modi factor not apply uniformly?
True. And is that fair then, you know, Barkha, that the Congress would want to make this election a referendum on Prime Minister Modi, but if, you know, the fingers pointed towards Rahul Gandhi, they try and shield him by saying local leaders were responsible?
Well, I actually think that no matter what happens in this election, the highest stakes are for the Congress party. No matter who wins, who loses, it is existential for the Congress. And if the Congress does not win Punjab, and if the Congress is not part of the ruling alliance in UP, if the BJP manages to wrest Manipur and Uttarakhand from the Congress, then not just is it about the party, it will be directly about Rahul Gandhi's leadership. So in some ways, the highest stakes for any party in this whole election is for the Congress party.
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that if Rahul Gandhi loses, fails to do well in Punjab, Uttarakhand, Manipur, for everybody else, he's lost. For congressman, he never loses. He continues. Undisputed king.
I think there are whispers now, privately. The point is anyone in the party willing to go public?
I don't think so.
You know, at the end of the day, every political party would want a leader who delivers the votes. And that's exactly what Mrs. Gandhi said. I mean, she was asked in an interview, of course, years and years ago. I mean, your party seems to like you a lot. She said, the party doesn't like me. They tolerate me because I get them the votes. So at the end of the day, you would...
No, all that I would say is this, but this was true at one time. But last 3-4 years, you see, there's a Hindi phrase, ये मरी हुई कौम है, कांग्रेस वाले, ये कुछ भी मत दीजिए, ये गुलामी करेंगे.
Can I just add something about Punjab, which I think nobody speaks honestly on Punjab. One simple thing: it should worry the BJP, it should worry Modi. Everybody keeps talking about how the Muslims will not vote for Modi or the BJP. It is also a fact that even a minority that has no reason to be hostile to Modi, the Sikhs do not vote for the BJP or Modi. Even the Congress gets votes. Modi and the BJP do not get the Sikh votes. It's not a full Punjab problem. Modi also has a minority problem that extends to...
Since partition, this is nothing new, nothing to do with... They didn't vote for BJP, Bajpayee.
So exactly, it is BJP. It is a historic problem. The problem is not being surmounted.
Simply because...
Let me finish the point I'm making. The point is very simple. Modi's popularity has catapulted the BJP, expanded it beyond its ordinary limits. He has not had that impact among minorities, and that is not just about Muslims. We often keep talking about the Muslims. Modi has not been able to expand the BJP among the minorities.
The simple answer to that is because Akalis, the accredited party allied with the BJP, has the monopoly on
Fair enough.
fixed.
Fair enough.
This is the point.
We'll be getting
Congress
the
then
caste-wise.
Congress
We'll be getting the
just- in
caste-wise
fact, I
breakup.
want to go further.
We'll be getting the caste-wise breakup and the community-wise breakup as well. In fact, in our figures that we've just put out, and then we can, comment further on it. But I know Sambit Patra, of course, wants to respond to that. But Jaiveer, you can quickly come in, and then Sambit can respond to everyone at the end. And then I think we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get the numbers. Jaiveer, yeah.
I think people have not all that glitters is not gold. Varanasi properly, and it figures in the top 10 dirtiest cities. So the attraction of the crowd really doesn't pull anybody to yourself, and I don't think so. People will vote for the development agenda done rather than a personality in these elections.
Okay, Sambit Patra, I know you wanted to come in to respond to all the points that you were just hearing.
So the basic point that I make out from all the panelists is Mr. Modi's charisma, is his strength of pulling people, will it be blemished by these results, or do they stand tall? Look into this debate itself. This 20 minutes into this debate, we have discussed Mr. Modi's name at least 100 times, effectively all the panelists. How many times have we mentioned Akhilesh Yadav's name? How many times have we mentioned Sonia Gandhi's name? How many times have we mentioned Manmohan Singh's name? This itself shows that Mr. Modi stands tall, and that's the reason as to why we discuss him. That's the reason as to
But
why
maybe that's
people vote
because
for
you
him.
didn't have a
So
CM
whether there are
candidate.
pockets which do not vote for Modi or vote for Modi is a separate issue. Modi is... No. Even if, I tell you, even if we had a CM candidate, which we had, remember in Assam we had a CM candidate, but even then the discourse was around Mr. Modi. So naturally, if a leader is tall, if it's house leader as I call you, the light would be shown till a distance. So whether he is projected or not projected is a separate issue. That's the charisma of a leader. The name, whether you love him or you hate him, the number of times you name him shows his popularity. And that's what I say in this panel as well. In this perspective or that perspective, his name was drawn in. I was chuckling within thinking that, look, Sonia Gandhiji's name has not been drawn once. And this shows that Congress is gradually moving towards a field which I would call the last of the Mohicans.
Okay, will that happen or not? That's something we'll only know on the 11th, Mr. Patra. But yeah,
I wanted to ask Patra a question.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing to have to be reduced to a one-leader party? I mean, there are advantages.
Exactly. This is what.
SP leaders shouldn't speak. You're reduced to only.
There is no leadership in.
Mr. Siddiqui, when you become a Akhilesh Shergill party, yeah.
I'll answer that.
But Samit, go ahead.
I'll answer that.
Yeah.
Well, Bharatiya Janata Party can never be a one-man or a one-leader party. It has always be a party of ideology, never a party of family. And in fact, in this country, despite the fact that left is our opposition party, but we still respect the left because of the fact there are only two parties in this country which are cadre-based. The Bharatiya Janata Party and the left. There is no other party in this country which is cadre-based. They're all family-based. So naturally, despite the fact that the parties may be in opposition, we would respect any party to be cadre-based. Ours is the last cadre-based party in the... At the most, came Mr. Modi because he had a way of working. He was loved by one and all in the party. That's the reason the cadre transitions himself into the Prime Minister because the cadre learned from him. The cadre loved him. That's how it works over here.
But, just to... Sambit, this is Barkha here. Just to make the point that you were saying, why is everyone talking about Prime Minister Modi? The fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister spent 3 days in Varanasi. In many ways, it's quite clear that if the BJP takes Uttar Pradesh, it will be positioned as Mr. Modi's win. It will not be positioned as the party winning. It will be positioned as the Modi factor winning the election. That's one. And two, the BJP itself has set all of these elections up as a referendum on demonetization. You will remember that when you won the recent series of civic elections, the party top leaders downward said this is a thumbs up for demonetization. So this referendum, at least on demonetization and Mr. Modi owning that decision, has not been created by the opposition. It's actually been created by the BJP itself. Sambit, won't you agree?
Let me answer these two questions. The first question as to why Mr. Modi spent 3 days in Banaras, and that's the result as to why it would be a referendum of sorts on Mr. Modi. One factual correction, he spent 1 night in Banaras. Remember, he spent in Banaras well. Secondly, remember, hard work is never a demerit. Hard work is always a merit. Mrs. Indira Gandhi was a tall leader, and while she was a leader, remember, she used to campaign even during the Vidhan Sabha elections. She used to hold 200 odd rallies. That's what Mr. Modi is doing today. The problem is, compared to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, we don't have a second Indira Gandhi in the Congress party. We have a Rahul Gandhi. And that's the reason as to why the Congress is complaining as to, oh, I cannot work hard. Why are you working hard?
The leadership
Thankfully,
of
we
Indira
have
Gandhi
a
now.
hard-working leadership at the top. We have Amit Bhai Shah. We have Modi, both of sleepless night, working very hard.
Yeah, Mr.
Secondly,
Siddiqui,
the question on the
Mr. Siddiqui,
referendum
you know,
on
the same question can be
demonetization,
asked of you. I know you wanted to
Mr.
come
Amit
in
Shah
there,
office
but a lot of
he was
people can ask that question of your party
correctly
as well, sir, because you had your CM, Akhilesh Yadav, also traversing through the entire Uttar Pradesh.
No, I want to
At the end
answer
of the day, the
this
PM Modi
demonetization
is the
question of
BJP star
Barkha.
campaign. Okay, yeah, something. Cool. I'll let you answer that, and then Mr. Siddiqui can come in.
Sorry that I'm interjecting, but Barkha's question was very
please.
important on demonetization. I knew if I don't answer it now, it will be lingering on our heads. Number one, look, as far as demonetization is concerned, Mr. Amit Shah, President, only in a recent interview said, when he was asked, is demonetization an important issue in this election? He told, yes, it is one of the important issues. Not the only issue, one of the important issues, definitely. As far as a referendum on demonetization is concerned, Barkha, while the demonetization was on, that 50 days period, in fact, while that period also we had several elections, the Nikai Chunavs, the municipal elections, and we have seen that be it Gujarat, be it Rajasthan, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Chandigarh, we won all of them in a straight line, and the icing was with the Maharashtra election, which was held only recently. Actually, if you see demonetization
you said that this
these
means that the
elections
people have
also can
voted
be
for
taken as a
demonetization.
referendum. But anyways, we would...
That's what the BJP said.
Yeah, and after the other civic bodies as well.
Yeah, yes, and so we would not... So we would not be shying away from the fact that demonetization is an issue as well in the Uttar Pradesh election, but one of the issues of multiple issues.
Okay.
Mr. Siddiqui, yeah, you can come in there.
Hello.
Yeah, Tariq Siddiqui, go ahead. We can hear you.
I want to respond to Mr. Patra. I want to respond to Mr. Patra. He says they used to blame that parties have become the family party. Today I want to ask BJP, it has become a party of two personalities. You are fighting election in Uttar Pradesh. There is Murli Manohar Joshi, Kallaj Mishra ji, almost Rajnath Singh ji, all tall leaders of Uttar Pradesh, they were not seen at all in UP. So the entire party belongs to the two, that's number one. Number two, he was saying demonetization was one of the issues. I really fail to understand, dear Pradhan Mantri ji is blessed to speak hours together on few words if he understands the definition or maybe abbreviation of scan or maybe kasab. He can speak for 1 hour. And on demonetization, he has not even uttered a single word during all his 45 days campaign. So that means the Prime Minister himself has conceded that demonetization was a wrong move taken by him. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have spoken at length and brought this issue in all his public meetings. So I think demonetization...
Our panelists want, yes, Samvit, you can respond to this debate, but our panelists want to come in. Radhika and Virendra want to come in.
11th of March.
Siddiqui, can I ask you a question?
Can I
You
come
said
in?
that the BJP has been reduced to a party of two
Can I come in?
personalities.
I'll just
Fine.
answer that.
Okay,
What
I'm
about
being
your
told,
party?
I'm being told, I'm afraid we have to interrupt this discussion because that all-important moment on the show is here. It's time to project our numbers, the numbers of the NewsX MRC Exit Poll. I want to go straight across to my colleague Ritanshu Bhattacharya.
Thanks indeed, Uday. The time is indeed upon us. Let's go first across to the state which has everyone in a tizzy, and it is not a conclusive verdict, unfortunately, here. The BJP is the biggest winner. It is the single largest party going by the results of the NewsX MRC Exit Poll. The BJP has 185 out of a total of 403 seats, still a bit short of the magic figure of 202. The SP Congress here, which one off of it, of course, is the incumbent SP, is a second with only 120 seats here, a far fall from its 2012 performance here. Mayawati, many who believe to be the dark horse of the elections, has third with 90, and there are only 8 other MLAs who are expected to win here. So how does this tally up against 2012. Let's look at the next set of numbers, which brings us the comparison between 2012 and between what is expected in 2017. There's it on the screen. Now, in 2012, the BJP finished a distant third here. It's going to make a huge gain here and come out to 185, which is still not good enough, unfortunately, but it's still an encouraging gain of 138 to finish the single largest party in UP by a huge margin here. The SP Congress, of course, had a sizable 252 in the previous elections. They built on the SP's performance of 200 plus, in which it got a majority by itself. But together, in 2017, going by the NewsX MRC Exit Poll, it's only going to get 120. That's a cumulative drop of 132 seats here. The BSP improves, but only marginally, goes from 80 to 90, which is a gain of 10 seats here. And the other smaller parties, especially such as Ajit Singh's RLD, are not expected to fare well as well. They drop about 16 seats to come to a cumulative 8 here. Now, how does this compare when we look at the vote shares here? The BJP, of course, is again the biggest gainer. From 15% of the votes it collected in 2012, it's doubled the figure and some by 33. It's got again a good positive swing of 18%. The SP Congress has had a huge fall. Together, they had polled 41% of the votes in 2012, despite fighting separately. Together, in 2017, they can only get 28% of the votes, which is a drop of 13. The BSP has actually dropped a percentage of vote share compared from 2012, but as we saw in the seat tally, it is expected to gain 10 more seats here. And the same is the case with others also, a 4% drop, but they, of course, are the biggest losers here. They lose over 14 seats. So that is the roundup of Uttar Pradesh. So there are plenty of talking points for you and our panel.
Well, absolutely. Thanks indeed for that, Ritangshu. Big news, of course, coming in is from Uttar Pradesh that no single largest, there's likely to be no party which is likely to cross that majority mark, but the BJP is likely to be the single largest party. The SP Congress alliance, it seems, is going to falter. They're only going to be at 120 seats. The BSP doesn't even cross the 100 mark. They're on 90. And the others, the RLD, the Peace Party and others, are all just on 8 seats. Quick opening reactions from our politicians on our panel. Sambit Patra, how do you react to this number? You're not crossing that majority marks, it seems. Sambit, you will need the help of someone else, some other political parties, independents or others, to cross the magic number in Uttar Pradesh.
Now, I would say the results are encouraging, and let me congratulate you for holding such a mammoth task. But let me begin by saying that, look, of late we have seen the tradition of Indian voters to vote in a way that government is made and not to dangle the governments in the mid-air. That your poll shows that Bharatiya Janata Party is moving in the way of the popular votes. Naturally, I'm sure that what you show as 185 would surely become 240, because that is the way.
Okay, so the BJP is likely to be the single largest party, and the trend is likely to say. Okay, quick reaction. Samit, I'm going to have to ask you to keep it brief, because we're going to get our other numbers as well in just a bit. But quick reaction from Jaiveer Shergill and Tariq Siddiqui. What's happened to the alliance, Jaiveer? It's floundered. It was supposed to be an alliance that was supposed to cross 300. You're not even able to cross 120 as per our numbers. Jaiveer and Tariq. Jaiveer first.
You know, definitely not. I don't want to comment on the numbers, but it's a bit of a, I think we are in for another Bihar shocker, where again similar numbers were shown for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm very confident that the people will vote for SP Congress, who want to make UP a Vikastan, versus BJP, who
Fair
want
enough.
to turn into a
So you're saying it's going to be a Bihar shocker. You feel you're going to have a Mahagathbandhan in Tariq Siddiqui. Tariq Siddiqui. What's happened to Akhilesh Yadav? Tariq Siddiqui, he said we were confident of crossing 200 by ourselves.
I think we are going to cross 200 by ourselves, and the Gadbandhan will touch definitely anything around 240 and 250. There is no reason to buy this idea that our vote percentage from 42 will drop down to 28. I don't believe. I think he's right in saying that the shock which we have seen in Bihar probably is going to be repeated in UP.
Okay, fair enough. We've got more numbers. We've got more numbers. So I want to go straight across to my colleague Saurabh Sanyal. We've got more numbers now. Saurabh, over to you. I think you've got Punjab for us.
Well, that's right, Uday. Thank you so much. And let's quickly take our viewers through the numbers that we have got for the state of Punjab. Here are the figures up on your screen. Here you see 117 seats and all. And this is what it looks like. Prime Minister Modi's face shining bright over here. Well, not quite. With 7 seats, SAD, BJP combined. 55 for the Congress, Rahul Gandhi smiling as it appears over here. And Arvind Kejriwal stands at 55. So 55 for AAP, 55 for the Congress, and 7 for the SAD-BJP combined. In fact, let's break it down further. Here you see that if you compare it with 2012, this is how it looks like. In 2012, the SAD-BJP combined stood at 68, and now the projections are for 7, so which means a loss, essentially a dip by 61. Here you come to Congress, 46 in 2012 as compared to 55 in 2017, so Congress up by 9. Come down to the Aam Aadmi Party, which did not quite figure as far as the poll matrix went in 2012 as far as Punjab is concerned. In 2017, it stands now at 55. So very close fight there, and Aam Aadmi Party up by 55 there, as you can see on our screens. And the others, 3 as far as 2012 is concerned, and 0. So they're yet to open their account if we go by our exit poll projections. So down 3 for the others. But further, let's also get in some more details as far as Punjab is concerned. Here, let's also see about the vote share, talk about the vote share per se. In 2012, 42 for the SAD and BJP, 42. In 2017, which is this year now, it's gone down to 20. So it's a drop of 22, a swing of minus 22. For the Congress, which stood at 41 in terms of vote share, it has now dipped to 33%, so down by 8% for the Congress as far as vote share is concerned. For the Aam Aadmi Party, it's a gain all the way of 37% this time around. And for the others, it's a dip by 7%. From 17, they've gone down to 10. Also, let's quickly focus, Uday, over here. What are the other aspects as far as Punjab is concerned? This is how it looks like. In fact, Uday, you can take it through from here. So multiple talking points there as far as Punjab is concerned.
Points, and of course you'll have some more numbers for us in just a bit, but our panel quickly on Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. Barkha, what do you think of the projections that we put out?
Well, the health warning, these are exit polls, not actual results. I think we have to keep underlining that again and again. Of course, every party will use that health warning to its own advantage. I find the scenarios, if these numbers are correct in the exit polls, really interesting, because I think Mayawati has done somewhat better than most media had projected, than even the mainline parties expected her to do. And I won't be surprised if the numbers are like this and the BJP falls short of a majority of its own. There is a surprise scenario that is being whispered about of Mayawati as chief minister, running a minority government with BJP supporting from the outside. I know it's premature for me to throw this out, but these are exit polls on actual results, so we can do a certain amount of speculative scenario building. Punjab, I think we should underline that while the seats are tied, these polls are projecting a clear win in terms of vote share for Aam Aadmi Party. The biggest gain is for Arvind Kejriwal, and if these numbers are correct, then you can expect the Kejriwal factor to have arrived on the national stage if he does in fact manage to take Punjab. If the seats are actually tied, then I don't know what we're looking at.
Absolutely. Will the Akali Dal then play the crucial role? Will they be the kingmaker? That'll be the quick question. Professor Nalpat.
You know, I just want to say that I'm not, I don't think that the BSP is going to be very eager to do a deal with the BJP.
Because of the Muslim
And for the reason, frankly, that Hatosh was pointing out, the fact that the minorities are keeping away from the BJP. I think Mayawati would say, look, I can't, rather than be CM of UP, Kanchiram's dream, and I think possibly her own dream, is to be the Prime Minister of the country. And here, she'll need a very good performance in UP in 2019. She's not going to get that if she aligns with the BJP this time. So I'm not sure that's going to happen. Now, coming to Punjab, it's very, if your figures are right, it would look like the BJP's vote has been taken away by the Congress. And the Congress vote has been taken away by the Aam Aadmi Party.
That's an interesting statistic. I know our panel wants to come back in, but I'm being told we've got more numbers for our viewers. Saurav Sanyal, over to you. You've got more numbers. Have you got Goa for us or Uttarakhand? Saurav.
Well, that's right, Uday. In fact, let me quickly take you through from Punjab to Goa now. This is what it looks like. And in fact, taking a cue, this is the Punjab, the last graphic that was supposed to come up. And here, now we quickly shift our focus to Goa. The BJP stands at 15, the Congress stands at 10, and the Aam Aadmi Party stands at 7. Others are at 6, and the Maharashtravadi Gomantak Party, they stand at 2. So this is as per the MRC NewsX Exit Poll. So these are the first numbers that are coming out as far as Goa is concerned. 40 seats, remember, up for grabs. Just quickly take us, let me take you through as to what the scene was in 2012. For BJP, it was 21 as far as 2012 was concerned. It's now down to 15. So a loss of 6 seats, so to say, for the BJP. For the Congress, as per the exit poll, which was at 9 in 2012, the numbers have marginally gone up by just 1. The figure now stands at 10. For the Aam Aadmi Party, here the numbers this time around it stands at 7, so up by 7. For the Maharashtra-Wadi Gomantak Party, the numbers which stood at 3, it is now down by 1, so it's 2 for the MAG. And for the others who could also emerge as playing crucial roles, 7 seats as far as 2012 is concerned, down now this time around. Just look at the vote share here, Uday. Here you see that for the BJP, it was 35% when, if we look at it in perspective of 2012, it's now down to 31% in 2017, so a loss of 4%. For the Congress, 31 in 2012, 26 in 2017, so again, a dip by 5%. For the Aam Aadmi Party, it now stands at 20, so it's a gain of 20%. For the MAG, what stood at 6% also stands at 6% now, so there is virtually no change as far as this party is concerned. And as far as the others are concerned, which stood at 28% vote share, that is now gone down to 17%, so a dip of 11%. So very interesting numbers there coming out from Goa as well, Uday.
That's quite interesting. Another hung house projection as per our NewsX MRC Exit Poll. Another hung house projection after Punjab. It seems even in Goa, there is no one party crossing that magic number, crossing the majority mark. But yes, Hartosh Singh Bali, you wanted to comment on the projection so far.
Just looking at the UP numbers, I just want to say a few things. If you look at your vote percentages, there's a 3% margin of error. You factor that margin of error, the SP alliance could be the single largest vote percentage, BJP could be down, BSP could be more than the SP alliance. So I think we are in a in a situation where by these vote percentages, there's a lot of leeway left.
Yeah.
Second thing, the one thing I do not believe the numbers you've shown is going from these seat percentages to the, from these vote percentages to the seats you've shown. Simply because if you look at, no, I'm talking of UP.
Okay.
If you look at the votes of the others, you are giving 8 seats to the others. I think in Western UP alone, you will get far more. The 14% for the others is concentrated in certain pockets with far greater impact than this is reflecting. If you look at the region-wise breakup of UP, I don't know if it's up yet.
Yeah, we'll be putting it out.
Western UP itself, the first 3 phases, 143 seats, I think the poll is projecting over 70 seats for the BJP. That's not going to happen unless I've got it wrong on the ground.
40 seats.
No, first 3.
First 3 phases.
First 3 phases.
First 3.
68, 52,
60, yeah.
143 seats showing more than 70 seats for the BJP. I find that very difficult to believe.
Yeah.
Punjab figures, actually, I would say that they are largely what I would expect.
Okay.
If I'd been asked to project figures without looking at poll, this would be roughly where it
neck to
would
neck. Okay, I'm being told that we've got more numbers. I know our panelists really want to come in, but I'm being told we've got our last numbers for our last state, that's Uttarakhand. So Meghna Deka, over to you. What's happening in Uttarakhand? Another hung house, or does someone form the government?
Well, thank you very much, Uday. Yes, Uttarakhand is going to be quite interesting, isn't it? After all, it is one of the states which is known for having wafer-thin majorities every time. This time around, according to NewsX MRC poll, we are predicting that BJP is going to walk away with 38 out of the 71 seats. Congress gets 30 out of the 71, and the others are only taking away 2. So essentially, it is going to be BJP, but if these polls are correct, let's not forget there is a margin of plus minus 3 seats. And if that is true, we need to reassert the fact that these polls are calling it very close, both for the BJP as well as the Congress. Now let's get you a comparison of what really happened in 2012 and 16. When it came to the BJP, it had 33 seats then, and it is going to go up, as predicted, to 40 seats. Let's not forget, during the Lok Sabha elections, BJP had managed to get all 5 of them in 2014. For the Congress, from 34, 34, we expected to have 34, so no swing whatsoever. When it comes to the others, that is where it seems that the votes are going. It is going to be going across to the BJP. It is a -7. Now, let's also get you a comparative vote share as well for the state of Uttarakhand. Well, there you have it. In 2012, BJP enjoyed 31%. 2017, it is up to 38. And also for the Congress, 32. And then it's expected to come down. But it is a very marginal down by around 2%. And finally, for the others, that is where the maximum loss is going to be, because it seems that a lot of these people who had been voting for the independents are likely to go across to the BJP. So it's a -5 there. So there you have it, a quick roundup. But again, remember, every time we see an alternate government, either Congress or BJP alternating in the state of Uttarakhand. So if we go by the trends, yes, it is favor to BJP.
It is advantage BJP, but a wafer-thin majority is what we're projecting in this NewsX MRC exit poll. So that's, of course, the big projection for Uttarakhand. We've got our big state projections all on our screens now. Our viewers can continue to track them, but Radhika, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I assume you will be putting up the caste trends very shortly. Now, I was just looking at those, and barring the votes of the Yadavs and, of course, the Muslims, the BJP has got chunks of other votes, including the MBCs and the OBCs, who, interestingly, I found voted as a solidified bloc for the very first time. Ever since the Mandal Commission recommendations were proposed and implemented, for the first time, I saw the evolution of what I am calling an OBC consciousness. So that is significant, and that has gone to the BJP, which is traditionally regarded as an Amiron ki party, a Baniya ki party. So that is a major breakthrough that the BJP has achieved. So in actual terms of votes, then we will have to see how this translates. The other thing I found significant is that the RLD doesn't figure anywhere, whereas in fact in West UP in the first phase, the RLD has taken away big votes of the Jats. You know, there was resentment among the Jats towards the BJP, among the farmers. So the RLD has managed to reach,
37%.
But according to these figures, BJP is taking 49% of the Jat vote.
49%, so
Last time there might have been 80 plus.
That's the 2014 polls, the Lok Sabha polls. So it's possibly a come down. So we will have to...
according to what was expected. The Jats were
so this
unhappy.
But BJP to do well in Uttar Paschim, Western UP is amazing, because that's where the Jat vote bank is. That's where the SP and the BSP have done well.
That's what Hartoor Singh Bal, of course, was disagreeing with. So I want to quickly join Priya Sehgal and Ashok Tandon at that point. Priya, do you agree with that? That BJP is poised to do well in the first few phases? I mean, it was thought that they wouldn't, but this exit poll is
I don't agree with this at all, actually. I'm also pretty stunned at the fact that, we've given such a huge percentage in in Western UP to the BJP, where there is a huge Jat presence. There is also a Muslim presence. In fact, I was expecting BSP and SP, BSP to do better in the first phase and SP to do better in the second phase. That's what I was expecting. So I am going to disagree with this one.
Okay, Ashok Tandon, sir, on all the states we projected, what do you think of?
First of all, Western UP, if you look at the percentage, RLD is getting 37% votes. So that means Ajit Singh did get votes, but may not be able to translate into seats, and which has apparently benefited BJP because it's showing 40 seats. In the last Lok Sabha election, out of the 73 segments in Western UP, BJP had led in 68 and the SP in 5. So all of us were hoping that because of RLD presence, it may help BSP. Apparently it is not. It is not helping, going by the figures which you are showing.
Can I just add to that? Like, just as from the perspective of a ground reporter, my anecdotal experience was that there was much more talk of Akhilesh Yadav in the first three phases and much more of a buzz around the Modi factor in the latter phase. But if you look at these trends, it actually reverses that impression totally. So there's something about this that at least as a reporter is not adding up for me.
Absolutely.
But third phase, Varka, where Akhilesh, the Safai, Itawa, where I think Shivpal Yadav, that whole fight.
But it's not clear how much Shivpal was really able to damage Akhilesh. And the first two phases were about 143 seats, where the whole buzz was around Akhilesh.
Partly it was, yes, you're right, but partly it was because the hangover of the split in the Yadav Parivar, and that is why, the news headlines were obsessed with Shivpal coming, going, cycle.
But did he damage Akhilesh?
He did damage Akhilesh in the
upper Doab in the third phase.
Okay, I think where Modi really kicked in was from the lower Doab region. Lower Doab, I didn't go to Bundelkhand, so I don't want to talk about it. Awadh, yes, I mean, brilliant.
That's the latter phase.
That's the latter phase.
That's post the third phase.
But this suggests the best performance was in the West.
In the West,
Which is very surprising. That's true.
It seems to suggest that the Modi factor has actually hurt the BJP rather than
I want to quickly get in. I want to quickly get in the politicians who've been hearing the discussion as well. Yes, Jaiveer Shergill, you wanted to come in. Jaiveer Shergill of the Congress.
I just wanted to make a quick point about Punjab. I was campaigning there for a month. I think I will, of course, say Congress, but whichever party makes the government is going to have a very clear majority. People of Punjab are in no mood to experiment. Punjab has paid a very heavy price. We have the drug problem, 23,000 factories shut in the last 2.5 years alone. So I think Congress is the best tested party, and people will not experiment a new party like Aam Aadmi Party because they've seen.
But you know what's interesting is, while the seats are neck to neck, Jaiveer, while the seats, before you make that Uttarakhand point, while the seats are projecting it to be neck to neck of 55-55, we will look at the vote share. 37% to 33% is what the vote share looks like between the AAP and the Congress. So that's also giving an indication of where the voter is going. Jaiveer.
Aam Aadmi Party is very heavily banking on an area called Malwa, which is a feeder of the chunk of the seats, but they were literally absent from Doaba and Maja. Doaba and Maja, they were virtually absent. And Congress, in 2007, Congress did very well in Malwa, but still lost the election. So I would really not bank this solely on a Malwa factor in this election, which was in our favor in 2007. I think the lack of a chief minister face the insult to the Sikh community by placing a broom next to the picture of the holy golden temple is going to backfire on them in a very heavy manner, and Captain Amrinder Singh will take us to the finishing line, and we'll see to that on the 11th of March.
That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point that you're making, and I think we need to take a very quick break there. It's our first break on the broadcast, but after that we'll be opening it up. We'll be discussing Uttar Pradesh more in depth. We'll be looking at those caste numbers as well, which some of our panelists referred to and disagreed as well. We'll also be looking at the phase-wise breakup of was it advantage BJP in the first phase, was it advantage SP in the latter phases. Do our panelists agree with those projections?